For the bread dough, we need 1 packet of yeast, which is 8 grams or 2 and 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, 2/3 cup of warm milk, 60 grams of melted butter, 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3.5 cups of bread flour, and 2/3 cup of warm water. So to begin, we're going to get 1 tablespoon of sugar, add this to the 2/3 cup of warm water, then add the yeast. Mix this and let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the yeast is bubbly. So after 5 minutes, this is what the yeast looks like. We're ready to make the bread dough now. So in a stand mixer, or if you don't have a stand mixer, you can use your hands to knead the dough. Combine the milk, butter, then the yeast. Add the remaining 1/4 cup of sugar. Combine the salt and the bread flour. Give it a mix. Then add this to the wet ingredients. Don't add the bread flour all at once. Check the consistency first. So start kneading. Once the bread flour is absorbed by the liquid ingredients, you can start adding the flour again. So once the flour is all in, continue kneading this for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the dough is smooth and elastic. So this is about 8 minutes of kneading. This is now ready. As you can see, the dough is very smooth and elastic. So I have a bowl here with about half a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to form my dough into a ball. And roll this dough into the oil. And then I'm going to cover this with cling wrap and let it rest in a warm spot for about 1 hour or until the dough has doubled in size. For the filling, we're going to need 250 grams of cream cheese, half a cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So the cream cheese should be at room temperature. Break this up. To this, we're going to add the half a cup of sugar. It's best just to use a spatula doing this. As long as the cream cheese is at room temperature, it's easy to mix this. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And finally mix until it is well combined. Now set this aside while we're waiting for the dough to double in size. The dough is now ready. We're gonna roll this dough using a rolling pin into a rectangular shape. Sometimes you need to use your hands to guide the dough. So continue rolling this. Just like this. I have about 2 tablespoons of soft butter. Spread this evenly on the dough. Now it's time to add the cream cheese evenly as well. All of this. Now I have 1 cup of raisin. You can decrease the raisin if you don't like raisins. Now we're going to fold the dough or roll the dough into a roll. Make sure that you're rolling it tightly. Then seal the ends of the dough by pinching the ends. Then cut the dough. Discard the end of the dough. We don't need that. There's hardly any filling on it. Now cut each dough about an inch or less than an inch, but that's my preference. I don't want this to be very thick. So I'm gonna cut them all first before I arrange them on a baking pan. This dough is quite soft due to the filling inside and the raisin. It's easy to deform it, but that's okay. You can reshape this later. So, arrange the dough. On a baking pan. For this, I put 12 pieces in each pan. As you can see here, I'm reshaping the dough. And this is what they look like. Now we're going to cover this with cling wrap and let it rest in a warm spot for about 30 minutes or until it doubles in size. At least 15 minutes before baking, make sure to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius. And this is the second batch. Again, all in all, I made about 25 pieces of this. And this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. Now I have 1 egg that I'm going to crack in a bowl, then whisk. I'm going to brush the egg on top of the bread. This will help the bread have golden color on top. And then we're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 13 to 15 minutes. And this is what it looks like after baking. This is optional. I'm brushing the top with soft butter. Again, optional. Then let them cool down in the tray before moving it into your serving platter. And this is the whole batch of the cream cheese raisin roll. And this is the finished product. This is really good. I can guarantee that you're going to love this. So I hope you give this a try. And just to show you what it looks like inside, this bread is so soft and the sweetness is just right. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!